Okay, so what are some of the main features of Java? Uh, of course, the most important is the platform independent feature of Java. Java is platform independent, unlike many of the other programming languages that we know. Doesn't matter Python, C++, Visual Basic, C#, whatever. When you compile a Java code, it is actually compiled into some kind of a bytecode, and this bytecode is then converted uh, to when by to the machine code on whichever platform you are running it, and you can also distribute it, and then this bytecode will run on whatever platform you will try to run it, and it will just convert into the machine code corresponding to that platform. So because of this compilation into the intermediate bytecode, Java bytecode, Java is platform independent. Another important feature is that it's multi-threaded. So it means that uh, many threads or many processes can run concurrently, at the same time in Java. And of course, this makes our application more fast and more interactive. And so this is also one of the very important features. Next is that Java has, object-oriented. Java is based on this object-oriented programming concepts. So, everything in Java is an object. You know that object is an instance of a class. In class, we define, same kind of what you say behaviors we can group together in a class. That's what a class is. So what are the basic object-oriented concepts that Java is programming is built on? It's there abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, and encapsulation. So what is abstraction? Well, abstraction is a concept in which you want to hide the internal details of your implementation. Of course, in many cases, user doesn't need to know how, what, for example, if he wants to kind of call someone, if he wants to do some complex operation, he doesn't want to know the implementation details. He just wants to call some, a simple function and this, and get the output. So abstraction means that, to hide kind of the implementation details. And abstract classes you have in Java, you can write express classes by using this keyword abstract before the class. And you can have, of course, abstract methods. So you have the default implementation there, and then of course you can extend that implementation, or you have the complex implementation, and then you just need to call this, uh, by simple exposed methods, and then user don't need to know what actually this abstract method or class was doing. You can hide that implementation details. What is inheritance? Inheritance is of course, the name says a parent-child relationship. And what does this mean? That if you have some functions or some behaviors or properties, whatever you say, in the parent class, then the child class inherits them, automatically, and then the child class can use them, and it's like reusing of, the function reusing is easier. You don't need to write extra code there, and if the child class wants to do some specific things, it can further, kind of extend the implementation of the parent class. And of course, you can have more than one child classes, but you can have only one parent in Java. What is then polymorphism? Well, polymorphism is from two words, poly and morph. Poly means many and morph means form. So polymorphism is a concept in which you can say that you can do one task. So you can do one task in many different ways. So that's what polymorphism is. So, method overriding and method overloading are the two common concepts of polymorphism. In our this famous car example, make car example, if you have one function make car in the parent class, and then you have the same function make car in the child class, but the functionality, but the implementation of child class make car is different from the parent class make car. So you have the same function, but you have different implementation. This is one of the examples of polymorphism. So what is the last concept of object orientation in Java? It's encapsulation. Encapsulation is something called hiding, something like hiding. You want to hide the data inside your class, and then you provide some public getter and setter functions to change that data, for example. And then you can, let's say, put some logic into these getter and setter functions that, let's say, if the data is within this range, only write this data in the variable only, then, using a setter function. So you have a more control uh, over your classes that you wrote. You make some things private, and you give some public functions to change the values of those private variables, something like this. This is called encapsulation. So what is the last and another important feature of Java? It's very high performance. The Java bytecode created by this Java compiler is highly efficient. And when you run this bytecode using Java Virtual Machine on any platform you want, Windows, Linux, Unix, whatever, uh, the speed is very fast. So Java is very high performance.